Executive Officer and President of MKS Instruments in Andover, Massachusetts. MKS Instrument is a global provider of process control solutions for advanced manufacturing processes. He's here to testify on behalf of Semiconductor Equipment and Materials International, or SEMI. SEMI is the global representative of the microelectronic ecosystem industry. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Ranking Member Shabbat, and for the committee for having me here today to speak. As Madam Chairwoman noted, I'm the CEO and President of MKS Instruments, so part of the interest is personal to MKS Instruments, but also I will be the Chairman on the North American Advisory Board of SEMI beginning next year, and we represent about 800 companies involved in the semiconductor, photovoltaics, and display industry, of which about 80% of those companies are small businesses. So I'm speaking on behalf of both organizations. We provide products to equipment makers involved in semiconductor manufacturing, displays, and photovoltaics, and other advanced technologies. Today I'd like to talk about two components of the tax extenders bills that are of great importance to MKS and the other semiconductor companies and SEMI members. These issues are the R&D tax credit and the commercial investment tax credit for solar energy. In terms of the R&D tax credit, MKS Instrument employs about 500 engineering professionals. We expect to spend about $80 million in R&D this year. That's about 10% of our revenues, and that is fairly common for the industries that we represent. R&D spending goes towards the salaries for our engineering people, engineering consulting, and towards the cost of materials for R&D and for the tools we use. An initial R&D investment of $1 million or slightly more than that, reoccurring each year, generates about $11 to $12 million of revenue each year. And over 5 to 7 years of a product life cycle, that would be somewhere between 50 and 75 million in revenue over that life cycle. So the R&D tax credit is an important incentive to locate this value-added investment in the United States. In addition to these jobs, there's really a direct benefit to the U.S. government, and I did a couple of quick back-of-the-envelope calculations. We estimate that the typical R&D credit for us gives us about $2 million of credit. As a conservative estimate, if you look at about a 15% profit level, pre-tax profit level on that $50 million in revenue resulting from the R&D projects, that would give us a profit of about $7.5 million. We assume that the tax rate at 36% for business would provide a return in the corporation taxes to the government of about $2.7 million, and that excludes the additional tax benefits from hiring people in the R&D area, so their actual personal incomes, as well as all of the supply chain that would be either providing materials or services for us as well. The R&D tax credit has a long history of strong bipartisan, bicameral support, and it's unfortunate that it expired 8 months ago. Growth of the American economy is closely tied to the ability of our companies to make sustained commitment to long-term investment in R&D. The credit provides a critical, effective, and proven incentive for companies like MKS to increase our R&D spending in the United States. It's a stimulus for U.S. investment, innovation, wage growth, consumption, and exports. While the R&D tax credit is expired, many countries such as Ireland, Canada, and China have more attractive R&D tax incentives, luring research jobs away from the United States. The United States used to have the best R&D tax credit, and now we've moved way down the ladder in that list of countries. They have made it a priority, and we have not. I urge Congress before adjournment to enact a seamless, multi-year extension of a strengthened R&D tax credit. The second issue is the commercial investment and tax credit for solar energy. Solar energy is a new market for MKS Instruments and many of the other semi companies as well. The materials and equipment used in semiconductor industry is very similar to what is to be used in solar energy industry. At the time when America's energy independence is more crucial than ever, solar energy and other means of alternative energies are expected to boom. The commercial investment tax credit for solar energy expires at the end of this year. Unfortunately, due to the uncertainty of an ITC extension, solar projects in the United States have already been put on hold. The commercial ITC for solar energy is critical incentive for companies to locate their solar energy manufacturing facilities and projects within the United States. Again, just like the R&D tax credit, these investments produce jobs. According to a Navigant consultant study, if extended, the solar energy ITC is expected to create almost 40,000 more jobs and about $8 billion in investments. If it is not extended, those jobs and investments will go elsewhere. Other nations have very generous incentive packages for solar energy and are leading in the investment in this area. If Congress fails to extend the credit, it will cause America to fall further behind and ensure that these investments are made overseas. There's no doubt that our country will be a user of solar energy. The question is whether we'll be a producer of the equipment and the panels and the installation kits. I urge Congress before adjournment to approve an 8-year extension of the commercial investment tax credit for solar energy. In closing, let me reiterate, what is at stake here is American jobs and investments in crucial technologies. Tax policies are a key factor for companies when they are deciding to invest, and we are faced with some stiff competition abroad. This is a very limited window of opportunity to extend the credits this year. I urge Congress to make this a top priority, ensure that the R&D tax credit and commercial investment tax credit for solar energy are extended before Congress adjourns. We cannot afford to wait. I thank you, and I look forward to any questions that I can.